Now that we have an understanding of the parameters and the three types of parameters, let's take a look at how we would actually set Mozaik up for your shop construction. And the first area we're going to look at are just the basics, setting up our materials, hardware, doors and drawer boxes, and then looking at those parameters. So let's take a look at the materials. To access our material library, we simply click Libraries and Materials. Mozaik is provided with a default material catalog that will have a lot of the common materials used in the industry. These are easily deleted or updated. Just simply click on any line. If you'd like to delete, press the delete key on your keyboard. If you want to update any piece of information, simply click on that field and type in the new values. To add a new material, simply scroll to the bottom of the screen, click on the last line, enter a quantity, a new material description, whatever you would like for that to be, enter the size of the material and the other properties, and that's all there is to it. Once our materials are entered into the library, then we need to make the selections and set up our material templates. We simply go through and select each material for each part type. It's very simple to add new templates or to edit the templates that are provided with Mozaik. To change a material, you simply highlight that part type, click the select material, and select the new material. Notice the material thickness displayed. That's very important. Obviously, the thickness is entered in the material library, and it's also used in all of your calculations. If you enter a material thickness that can be rounded to a common fraction, Mozaik will display it as the fraction if you're working in fraction mode. If you enter a dimension that is a non-common fraction, then Mozaik will automatically display that material with the actual decimal equivalent. To change your settings for your units, simply click Tools and Units, and you can decide here if you want to work in inches or millimeters, and if you want to display the inches in fractions or decimals. And you can have Mozaik automatically round everything to a 1/16 or show the actual decimal equivalent. Once you have your materials entered and set up properly, the next thing we're going to do is move to the hardware. To access the hardware libraries, simply click Libraries and Hardware, and here you'll find all the information to set up your drawer guides, your hinges, your pulls, as well as CNC case fasteners for both joint templates and part templates. It's important to note the information that you're entering into the hardware library can affect both part sizes as well as your boring information. For example, your drawer box clearances for your side clearance and your top and bottom clearance, these parameters are obviously going to affect the size of the drawer box. And also you have your boring information for your hinge plates as well as your drawer guides. So once that information is set properly, then the information is automatically transferred from the design to the end panels or gables for your CNC machine. And the next area to look at customizing for your shop are the doors and the drawer boxes. First, let's look at the doors by simply clicking on Libraries and Doors. Mozaik is supplied with two different door catalog examples. The first is just the standard library, which consists of a variety of doors from flat panel doors to raised panel doors and so forth. And you have all of the information here to set up each door style. To select a different door library, simply click on the Settings tab, then click on Door Library and click on the new selection. And the second door catalog is an example of MDF doors and drawer fronts created for Great Lakes Custom Tooling Tools. You can see the different designs here. And by clicking on the detail, we can see how the MDF doors are actually made. The tool paths are simply drawn on the door, and each point in the tool path is related to a position in the door so that they grow and shrink properly. And of course your tools are associated to those paths. You draw your primary tool path and then simply offset the other tool path, so it's very simple to create the geometry for MDF doors. And to customize your drawer boxes, simply click Libraries and click on the drawer box library. And again, Mozaik is supplied with a number of sample drawer boxes. We simply select the one we want to modify and enter the information to construct that drawer box properly. You can click on each part of the drawer, you can add operations, or you can modify the shape of that part. And of course, to calculate the size of the drawer, you set up a simple relationship based on a 24-inch deep cabinet. What's the depth of the box? So if you typically build a 22-inch deep drawer box for your kitchen cabinet, simply enter 22. It's also important to note that you're unlimited as far as the number of drawer boxes you can create, and that your rollout trays or drawer boxes that are inside the cabinet behind a door are also created in the drawer library, and by simply checking this box you change from a drawer box to a rollout tray. And this brings us back to our parameters. So to teach Mozaik our construction techniques for the case and how those other parts relate to the case, we go in and actually set up the parameters. So we simply click Libraries, Products, and Parameters, and then we have each of the categories. These are covered in detail in their own training movies, but this is where you will basically go in and teach Mozaik your construction technique. What type of cabinet are you building? How the end panels relate to the carcass? What type of fasteners are you using? And so forth.